We're going to make boxes with paper. First, we're going to decorate the paper, and then we're going to learn how to fold these into boxes. Now, there are a handful of you that had me last year, and I think we did these boxes. We did them a little differently, but it's very similar. I'm not too concerned if you've done this before. I actually wanted to launch you guys into something that would not be too challenging, that would be relaxing and fun. And so if you've done this before, I've made many of these, and I enjoy it every time I do it. So I thank you for your patience if you've made them. I think you'll still have fun. Okay, so we have two boxes, really. We have two boxes that we're putting together. So we need two pieces of paper. I'm using printer paper from my computer. What you need is a square. These are rectangular. So in order to get a nice symmetrical box, I need to make these rectangular papers square. So I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to take the end off of this, and here's how I do it. You're going to bring the corner over so that you're basically lining up this edge with the edge of the paper. And I make sure that I have a nice little point over here. We don't want to do it this way, right? That's not enough. You actually want to bring it all the way over till this paper lines up with the edge there. And then I don't crease it. I take a pencil and I mark it. And now I know how much to remove. I'll hold it up so you can see it. There it is. So I'm going to fold it over so that that line is right on the edge of the fold. And I crease it. And then, in order to make it release nicely, I crease it the other way. So I'm weakening the fibers in the paper on that edge. Now, if you have a pair of scissors, you could simply cut it off. If you have a ruler, you could line your ruler up, press down and pull, and that would rip it off. And if you don't have either, just keep stressing that paper out, and that really does weaken the paper. And then gradually pull the paper apart. Or again, you could use a ruler. I'll show you all the options. You could use a ruler and pull against the ruler. That's one way to do it. You could use scissors. And now you have a square. So for the second paper, I've already drawn my line, and I'm showing you how you can rip the paper using a ruler or a straight edge. You lay it right up against the line like so, and I like to leave the larger piece for the ripping, for the pulling, rather than the shorter piece. So I've got most of the paper in my hand here. And I'm going to press down very hard and pull. And there you have a square. Okay, so I have my two squares. I'm going to put one aside. And you can start with a pencil, or you can be brave and go directly with the pen. It depends upon how confident you are. So I'm going to use the pen because it's a lot easier for you to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to be brave. The first thing we want to do is zone off our paper into a bunch of sections so I can do all kinds of different patterns in the different sections. So I like to start by starting on one end of the paper and just meandering over to the other side. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to start over here and over to the other side. So now I have 4 zones. So now I'm going to reduce the zones even more. They're way too big. So I think this time I'll start in the middle of this zone and head out. Oh, that marker didn't show up very well. There we go. Okay, my zones are getting smaller. Let's put one here. Let's connect these two here. Let's divide this one up like so. All right. So we're now going to add Zentangles. So what are Zentangles? Zentangles are designs and patterns that have been created by an artist, and the name stems from Zen, meaning mindful, and tangles meaning entwined images or designs. And the Zen part is really what I think is most wonderful about this. Drawing these is almost like doodling. And when you're creating these designs, it's very soothing and relaxing. It's really ideal for our first lesson so that you can be Zen and enjoy creativity without a lot of pressure. I think we could all use that right now. So I have with me some visual samples, and I also will have attached a link to a YouTube video that shows a person drawing Zentangles one at a time. It's really terrific because it not only shows you the patterns, it shows you how this person made the patterns. And so that will be much more useful to you. You can also find some online and put them up on the screen in front of you for ideas, or print them and put them next to you in your work area. So as you can see, I've begun to add my designs. I'm working mostly in pen. This particular design was new to me, so I put it in pencil first to figure it out, and now I'm going over it in pen. And you may find that that's what you want to do with all of your patterns. You want to safely get them down so that you're happy with them in pencil, and then go over them in pen. But just know that when you do that, of course, you have double the work. It'll take you twice as long to finish this paper, filling it with patterns, if you do everything in pencil first. If you're enjoying and don't mind, then have at it. If you find it a bit tedious, or you're eager to see the finished result, be brave and go right with marker. I'm doing a little of both. And you can see I've picked a bunch of different designs, some of them out of my head, some of them I've referred to. I actually found this one on the screen and tried to sort of figure out how it was done. It wasn't too hard, and again, I have that other YouTube video for you to look at, and it shows you exactly what steps to do to make a bunch of these. So you're gonna fill up your entire paper with all different patterns in your different zones. Okay, so I have finished my designs, and it's time to turn this into a box. What I'm going to do is teach you how to make the box on a plain piece of paper so that it's easier for you to see. So your design is on this side. You're going to turn it over and begin the process with the design face down. Start by folding corner to corner. And you do want to take your time to line everything up. Your box will come out better if you do. Now I'm going to open that, and I'm going to go corner to corner the other way. Lining everything up very carefully. And then creasing. And then open again. And we've got sort of an X, right? Now we're going to take the points and bring them into the middle of the X that we just made. All four come right into the middle. And finally the fourth one. Now mine isn't lining up perfectly, but it's close, so I'm going to be fine. There we go. All right, there you have it. Now keeping it closed like this, you're going to take, you'll see that there's still a line in the middle where it's been folded. You'll see a line. I'm going to take the edge of this and bring this over and stop on the line. So you're bringing the edge to the middle, basically, the edges to the middle. Remember, this represents the design of your Zentangles. I like to call these refrigerator doors, right? Seems like a refrigerator. So you end up with refrigerator doors. Now you need to do that the other direction. So you open the doors, and I'm going to do the same thing this way. All right. refrigerator doors. Open everything up like so, and then you need a pair of scissors, and you're going to make 4 cuts. And those cuts are going to be right here and right here, and the corresponding area across right here and right here. And I'm going to cut right through both sides of this. I'm going to cut right through. Here I go. And I'm only cutting up to that spot. Turn it around. Okay, it's time to create a box. You're going to lift this piece up. I call it the house. Do you see how it looks like a house? Lift the house up and out of the way, and then pull up these pieces that you cut. See how they fold up like this? They come right up. And then I'm going to drop them down until they overlap each other. Oh, I see the side of a box there. Now to keep that, you lift up the house. I'm going to do it again. Bring it in. This is the trickiest part. And you're going to lift up that wall of the house and fold it over. And that's what holds the wall together. Look, there's half a box. Let's do it again. So I'm going to open up the house. Move these guys out of the way. Open up the house. Bring this in against the wall like so, against the line. Overlap that one, and sure enough, you're starting to see a box. And then to keep these from floating away, lift up your house and fold it over on the inside. And you have a box. All right, so I'm going to quickly do that again. If you get it, you can stop the video. But I'm going to do it again with my design paper. Okay, I'm going to do this again so you can see the process a second time. I'm going to turn the design so it's face down. I'm going to bring the corner over to the corner. It's kind of hard to tell what's face down, isn't it? Right? Look at how it bled through the paper. And then, remember, we do the same thing the other direction. And our efforts are geared to making these edges and all these folds as carefully as possible. Then you open up your paper again, and now you've got an X, and you bring your points into the X, to the center of the X. Again, do your best, take your time to get those just the right place. Sometimes you'll find you have a little gap. You have a little gap. If it's small, it's not a problem. So just continue. Or you have a little overlap. I try not to overlap. It's hard to make it fold if it overlaps. I'm talking about overlapping here, right? Okay, time for refrigerator doors. Bring this edge into the middle. Bring the other edge into the middle. There are my refrigerator doors. I'm going to open it up and make doors the other direction. Into the middle. It's kind of hard to find that crease. There it is. Find the middle. Line it up. Good. And line that up. Good. Time to cut. Take your scissors, find these folds. I'm not marking them this time. I'm just going to find them. There's the crease. See it right there? That's what I'm cutting. And I'm only going up to this line. I'm going to go over here and find that crease. It's hard to see with the design, so take your time and really look for it. If you have to mark it with the pencil, that's okay. Maybe that'll help you, right? So there it is. So I'll mark it with a pencil. There it is. So that's where I'm cutting. Over here too. Now this one I can't see. There it is. So I'm going to cut that one as well. All right, time to put it together. I didn't quite cut through, so I'll give that a little tug. There we go. Open up the house. Pick up these pieces and bring them toward the middle. They overlap, and you begin to see the side of your box. You want that to stay, and so the way you do that is you lift up and fold your house over. One more time, open up the house, take these two pieces that you've cut, overlap them until they make the fourth wall of the box, lift this up, and when you fold it over the top, you have a box. No need for glue, it just holds itself. And then you take your other half, and you can fit them in either way. You have to, they're the same size box, right? So you just have to coax them into each other. Oops, I'm caught. There we go. And you have your Zentangle box. So, it might be fun, if you're so inclined, you could make pieces of paper that were smaller than this. These were 8.5 by 8.5, but you could make 5 by 5 and do the whole process again. And if you did, you would have a little box that you could put inside this box, and you could nest them. So that's it. I hope this was enjoyable and that you had success. And at some point soon, we're gonna Zoom together and look at them.